Why don't you shift on then?
National Council for House, your father wouldn't like that. Because what they're doing is exercising the right of freedom of speech.
What they're doing is obstructing the highway.
The only folk whose way they're in is their own. And with any luck, it'll rain. I'll shift them faster than any bobby.
What's he on about, Sergeant?
We got a fella locked up. We reckon he's a robber. They reckon he's a prisoner of conscience or something.
George Duncan. Fellow with one eye, isn't he? Lives down Canal Street.
That's him.
He was at Parker's once.
Shouldn't be surprised.
Got away, though.
Huh?
Got parole for his old fella's funeral. Went through the scullery window and off like a long dog.
Fascist pig!
Fascist pig! Fascist pig! Fascist pig!
His old fella were a bad bugger and all. Nicked all the lead off the roof of the Episcopalian chapel.
Damn. We can't CID take him. He's their prisoner. I'd like him away as soon as you can take him. I've got a demo on my hands. Demo. Free George Donkin, OK? George Donkin is innocent, OK? So what are you laughing at? It's no joke. Well, they seem to believe it, and very loudly. As soon as you can, then. I'd like him gone. Roland.
Ma'am?
Tell Sergeant Beck the van's broken down. They won't be able to take the prisoner till after dinner.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell Sergeant Beck we shall have to feed him.
Right, ma'am.
Free George Donkin!
Free George Donkin!
He's innocent!
Out!
Donkin's not going then?
Not yet.
Can't CID fetch him, he's their prisoner.
That's what I said. And look what's here.
Oh, that one.
Who is he?
Stringer for one or two of the Nationals. Name's Duckworth.
I've heard of him.
Freelance. Used to work on the News Chronicle.
That was years ago, the News Chronicle.
So was he. Years ago.
What about this? Donkin?
George Donkin is not innocent, OK? He's a villain.
Is he?
Loser anyway. Always has been.
What I mean is, why should a girl like her come out on the street for a loser like him?
Well, it passes the time until she can pick up her social security.
That's too easy. What I mean is...
Oh, now, don't say it. Maybe she cares.
Maybe she does.
Yeah, well, I care too. About the fella in the betting shop whose noddle Georgie bust. All for the getting of what? £39, was it? And 63 pence?
What is that between a third-rate thief from Canal Street and her?
Melisande Duffy. Her father's big in the travel business, right? Manchester firm. He's doing very nicely, thank you, because he's very good at what he does, which is packaging the punters off to Majorca. What he sells is escape.
Oh, now don't you go all Freudian on me, Sergeant Beck.
And George Donkin is not at all good at what he does, which is knocking over betting shops and such, which is why we've got him banged up in our slammer. Question, George.
I have the right to remain silent. I have the right to the attorney of my choice.
Have you been watching a Y50, George, or did Sister Anna tell you?
Sister Anna?
Who carries the banner? George Donkin is innocent, OK?
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't ask her to.
You've always been a bloke to duck your nut. Clear the sheet. Make a plea in mitigation, my lord, I never had a chance, and do your bird like a gentleman. So what have you ever been to that one that she should reckon you a cause for concern?
Yeah, well...
What?
I went to seminars, didn't I?
You what?
Went to seminars. Marxist, Leninism, and the New Awareness.
Bloody hell.
Every Friday night at the Rechabite Hall.
George, you know I'm not supposed to talk to you about what you're charged with.
Running dog of the capitalist bosses you are. She said so.
The Rechabite Hall is bang across the street from where you went in with your pickaxe handle and your stocking over your head. Marxist Leninism and the New Awareness be buggered. You were staking the place out. Question, George.
Judge's rules, Sergeant Beck. Nothing to say.
What do you want for your dinner? Cod and chips or pie and chips?
What's on then? And I go to court?
Tomorrow, I reckon. Pie and chips or cod and chips.
Are you going to Zabo's for them?
Why not? Best chipper there is, Zabo's.
Sergeant Beck.
Make your mind up or he'll be closed.
Fish then.
Right.
What's the chance of Bill?
You having knocked over a betting shop? 100 to 7 against, I'd say.
You'll oppose, will you?
Not me, George, up to CID.
But you could put a word in.
Why should I?
Something you might want to know.
What?
About Zabo.
Ah.
I know something you ought to know. You ask him what he's got in his backyard.
Why?
Because what he's got in his backyard is dead unlawful. Hungarian, isn't he?
So?
Just you ask him, Sergeant Beck, what he's got in his backyard.
Hello, Joseph.
None of your rock salmon, Peter. Your best, if you please. We have a guest.
Who, Joseph? Somebody I know.
What villains would you know?
Two, maybe three.
What villains do you know who are as dim as a Toc-H lamp?
Hey?
Thick as a can of paint? Stupid.
With one eye?
With one eye.
Ah, him. What's he done this time?
Robbed a betting shop.
So, you're going to soften him up, Joseph, are you? Make him confess. Well, I can tell you, there are surer ways than by being gentle.
You should know.
I do. In Budapest, there were an avo. That were the secret police in Hungary. He put a bucket over my head, and he banged the bucket. With a hammer. All night long.
What had you done?
Not so much.
Shot a commissar, had you? Brewed up a rusky tank?
So, Joseph, you want to make your man talk? Put a bucket over his head and clang it with a hammer.
I doubt my inspector would approve. Anyway, it had to be him. I mean, you know the hood he had over his head to hide his face? He'd only cut out the one eye hole, you see. I mean, if you've only got one eye, why would you want two eye holes?
Poor fellow.
Yeah, poor fella. You going to be here this afternoon?
Sure.
How long have I known you off and on?
Long enough. Why?
Not so many folk I can talk to these days. You get shut away, do you see, from folk? Shut in.
Shut in?
From folk, by the job. My job.
Well, come round then. We'll have a beer.
Peter, when they put that bucket over your head and clanged it with a hammer to break you, did they?
But who is your inspector?
Sir, Inspector Darbley.
Well, will you tell Inspector Darbley that on a matter of public concern, Inspector Darbley should talk to the press?
Yes?
As to that, what the public interest is, you and I may not agree. I'm Inspector Darbley.
Devil you are. I
know who you are. You were on the News Chronicle once. Now, a matter of public concern, do you say?
Yes. You've a man locked up.
Who will appear in court charged with robbery. He may then apply for bail.
Which the police will oppose.
And ask for legal aid. More than that, nothing to say.
Inspector, you do understand, don't you? There are those who would say that the arrest of Mr. Donkin...
was an act of naked political repression.
Exactly. So, could you confirm, Inspector, or deny that as a member of a Marxist-Leninist cell...
study group.
The man you have in your custody was under the surveillance of the Special Branch?
Would you care to come into my office? The gentleman of the press. No one else.
Yes, ma'am.
No. And what does she call you?
Bentley. Constable Bentley.
Is that a name? Constable Bentley. Or is it a shield?
A shield?
Behind which you hide. What does your girlfriend call you?
Girlfriend, haven't got one.
Well now, what a waste of life. So what do you do when you're not locking people up?
Look, miss, I don't think you and I ought to
What?
talk like this.
Why not? There are things I could say would make you see yourself for what you really are.
I know what I am.
Do you, Constable Bentley?
Look, I've got work to do.
Such work, though.
It's what I do.
Why?
Because.
You've never really thought, have you? Why don't you take off that uniform
Hey?
and go?
Where?
Wherever. Away.
I've never really been anywhere. Much.
Where I live. That would be a place to start.
Bentley? When she's done with you, you'll maybe know. I bet sit in Talavera Street, which is where she lives, is not the gateway to paradise, nor ever will be.
Talk to the press officer at division. Talk to the detective on the case. No more that I can say.
Not, off the record.
There's no such thing as off the record between you and me.
Me, you don't know.
Reporters, I know.
Hack, am I?
Your word, that, not mine.
The fact is, lady, I need this story.
Off the record.
Off the record?
There is no story and you know it. Surveillance by Special Branch, you know damn well all he is a thief.
We've got older and got caught. Every bloody time he got caught. And the girl's just a silly female, spoilt rotten. Ought to have her bottom smacked, who's got herself hooked into this George Donkin is innocent, okay, just so she can spit in the face of her family. Is that how you read it, Inspector Ma'am?
I doubt that's how you write it.
Off the record.
Off the record.
I've got a mortgage. I've got a second-hand Datsun going rusty. I have to do the best I can with what I get. Maybe some editor somewhere will read my byline and remember me, what I was.
When you're on the News Chronicle.
Years ago, that. Even so...
There is nothing for you here, no story.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Lost an eye when he was wounded on D-Day with the commandos.
Hell, he did. He was blowing a safe. Stuffing gelignite into a keel, blew up in his face.
Oh, but the story is... My story is... In the dreaded top-security jail at Parkhurst, he read the writings of Pierre Proudhon and was greatly influenced by Proudhon's great work, The Philosophy of Property. Home again, at last, in Canal Street, he was befriended by civil rights activist Melisande Duffy, daughter of a wealthy local businessman, who saw in him the true dignity of a man seeking to escape from the shifting sands of crime.
What's he got in his yard, then?
He didn't tell me. What has he got in his yard? I mean, should I get a search warrant? Call in special branch? Send for the vice squad? Or what?
Need more than that, won't you, to get yourself a byline?
Not much violence, is there? Not a great deal of sex.
You could write the truth.
Some poor loser locked up in a cage. Lady, that's the human condition. Where's the story in that?
Just thinking about leave, man.
Oh, is that what you were thinking? Bahamas this year, is it? Well, when you've a moment, Roland, movement of swine order, I want these pig licenses checked.
Yes, ma'am.
On duty, Joseph? Or off? But the policeman never is off duty, huh? How do you like to take orders from a woman?
I take me officers as I find them. And I have served under worse.
How long, Joseph, since you last came to call? Just to talk.
Weeks, must be.
Why today?
Why do you ask?
I were expecting you. One of you.
Why's that, then?
You will tell me, Joseph, I'm sure, in your own good time.
I have wondered about you.
What?
How come you fetched up here?
I like it here.
What I mean is just you on your own.
Hasn't always been like that.
Married, were you?
You should read my file, Joseph. Taken from when I were interrogated by your special branch. December 56.
Before my time.
When we got to England.
You and who got to England?
Me, my brother.
Wife? Got left, did she?
I was the one who got left for some fellow in Watford who played the saxophone.
I'm sorry. What about your brother?
That's what you came to ask.
Why should I?
That were him. But he's dead now. A week ago, last Wednesday, in a field near Wolverhampton. Broke his neck.
There's current affairs, laddie. Current affairs, laddie. I know that the Beeb from my days on the Cron could get you on television. Interview with Robin Day. Nationwide, even. And Donkin will be sub judice till he gets weighed off of the Crown Court, which will give us time to write the book. Paperback. What do we get for a paperback? Say, 3,000 up front? Unless he gets off.
Gets off?
Gets away with it.
What the bloody hell are you talking about? George Donkin is
Innocent, okay. But what I mean is, lady, there's no mileage in George Donkin is innocent, okay, for you or for me, if the jury says George Donkin is innocent. Okay? Oh, come on. What's it to you if the poor Dumbo's innocent or not? As long as he's a drum you can bang in the nation's ear hole. And what else have you got? I mean, it's all been done. Votes for women. If you ask me, the country's gone to the dogs ever since women got the vote. Ban the bomb. Gay bricklayers against the common market. Where do you go from here? I mean, what else is there?
You are a sexist, blood-sucking reactionary.
Yes. Yeah. I expect so. But the point is, lady, the likes of you need the likes of me, because what you need, what you've got to do, is expose yourself. Right? And furthermore, you need an angle. Some angle.
Some act. Non-violent. Symbolic of the struggle of man against the apparat of police and state.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Lady, you'll think of some damn thing for sure.
Not a bad bloke, you. For a foreigner.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm sorry about you, brother. What you got in your yard?
Who told you?
A one-eyed villain we both know. Ask him what he's got in his backyard, he said.
I'm glad it were you who came, Joseph. Come on, I'll show you.
Bloody hell.
What do you think?
What I think is, that's a bear? We don't get many bears hereabouts. And what the law is, I'll have to see. But you can't keep him. Not here.
What else should I do? He was a good bear in his time. Should I have him put down?
You'll maybe have to, aye. Unless some zoo would have him.
I think not, Joseph. He's old, you see. His temper is not so good. What will you do?
What I must, my friend. But not as swift as I maybe should, eh? Give you time to make an honest animal of him.
Scheduled to the Dangerous Wild Animal Act 1976. Orsidae. This kind includes the polar bear, brown bear, and grizzly bear. What kind of bear did you say it was?
Not much of a bear as bears go. Quite an ordinary sort of bear, it seemed to me.
No person shall keep any dangerous wild animals...
Except under licence from the local authority, which he ain't got.
So what you must do is take the bear to a proper place and then apply for a licence.
Which he won't get. I mean, would you give him a licence to keep a bear in a yard behind a fish and chip shop?
Can't say I would. Zoo. Maybe some zoo.
That's what I said. So I rang this curator of mammals, didn't I? Good day, says I. We have here not much of a bear. To be honest, a mangy and flea-bitten old bear with no great sense of humour. What shall we do with him? Give him a very wide berth, says he, because one day when you're not looking, he'll up with his paw and strike you hip and thigh, and there will be great slaughter. Beg your pardon, man, but it's what he said. He said have the poor beast put down.
So, tell this fish and chip shop man.
I did, but he won't.
Oh, if the law says he must have the bear put down, then he must.
Must is a word that might come a touch hard to a man who swam the Danube once in the middle of winter with a Russian armoured division up his backside. But that was a long time ago. and who's to care now?
To keep this bear, he must have a licence.
Only he's not a man who reckons much to licences.
He must have a licence from the local authority.
Not a man who cares that much for local authority.
Oh, Joseph, you see to it, eh?
I'd as soon it weren't me.
Bentley, then?
Bentley, then. I'll tell him.
Joseph,
Ma'am.
this may sound a bit naive, but your friend couldn't have got from any old pet shop a bear. So where did he get it?
From his brother.
Of course, from his brother.
Who was in a circus. Tumbler in a circus. Only he broke his neck during the matinee a week ago, last Wednesday, in a field near Wolverhampton. And he died. And so did the circus.
I have reason to believe that you have in your possession an animal which is a dangerous wild animal, as defined in the schedule to the Dangerous Wild Animals Act of 1976. That is to say, a bear. Do you have a license to keep such a bear granted to you in accordance with Section 1 of the Act?
No.
Well.
You have to report me.
Yeah. Sorry.
Why should you be sorry for doing your duty?
Well, I'll just report the facts. Do you wish to say anything? You're not obliged to say anything, but anything...
Don't ask me, Sonny. Ask the bloody bear. Only when you do, don't stand too close, huh? What now?
Oh, I'll just report the facts.
What then?
Sergeant Beck said to say that you could apply for a license.
I wouldn't get one, I think.
You could appeal to the magistrates.
Even so, you know and I know. In the end, they will take my dead brother's old bear and put him to death, won't they?
So, here you are then.
Yeah.
Does your inspector know?
No?
No.
Why should she?
Why, indeed, should she? Drink?
Yeah.
Martini. You look like a martini man to me.
Oh, yeah, like in the telecommercials, eh? In the Alps, all that.
Sun, snow, and all those girls.
Have you got any,
Vodka?
No, lager and lime.
No.
Vodka will do fine.
Za vaše zdarovia.
Right.
To the golden road to Samarkand.
Where is that?
Well, you won't get there in a number 9 bus.
Well. Well, you look a bit different from you did this morning on the street.
That was this morning. To show solidarity with a comrade in a conflict situation against the mercenaries of reactionary materialism, which is what you are. And that we shall have to change, won't we?
I don't know about that. What you just said.
Nor about anything much, do you?
Oh, yes. Couldn't do the job that I do and not come to know.
What?
Things.
What things?
Odd things.
What? Odd things?
Odd things. folk do.
Tell me.
Nah, you...
Well, I wouldn't believe you if you did tell me. What odd things that folk do?
Well, would you believe this bloke that I saw today, what he's got locked in his yard? Locked away in his backyard.
What has he got? Locked away in his backyard.
When he took the bear his porridge, no bear. And this.
Cut.
Sometime after midnight.
So where's the bear?
Where'd you be if you'd just been let out your cage? Took it on his toes.
What have you done?
Spoke to the zoo man I spoke to yesterday. He's on his way, but that'll take time, an hour or so. And what he says is you can never tell with a bear what it might do.
What he'll do, I suppose, is shoot it with a dart, put it to sleep.
Depends where the animal is. He says where we find it.
Dogs?
Yes, looking. And a vet on standby for when we call. These tranquilizer darts can take some time to work.
So there might be a risk. If the beast wasn't dropped in its tracks and there were people about who might get hurt, maybe a risk we couldn't afford to take.
That's what I thought, yes.
Hey, hello.
I have to see your inspector.
Not about last night, is it?
Well, should it be?
No, it's just with you coming in here.
About last night, I have no complaints, if that's what you mean.
No, I forgot to thank you before I left for the drinks and all.
That was last night. Now I have to see your inspector.
Well, we've got a bit of trouble on. You know what I told you about that bear?
Don't worry. I won't say who it was who told me.
You are?
I shan't say who it was who told me.
Morning. If you want Comrade Donkin, he's gone and won't be back up for remand this morning.
Sergeant! I have a statement to make to your inspector.
We do have rather a panic on.
What I have to say is to do with freedom.
Not a lot of it.
Freedom for all creatures oppressed by their chains.
What I have done was so that the attention of the media might be focused upon the ongoing struggle for the freedom of the individual against the so-called guardians of the so-called democracy at this moment in time. And this is your statement, is it what you want to say?
Yes.
Of course, you don't have to say it unless you wish. But how did you know the bear was there? I mean, we didn't know until yesterday, so who told you?
George, I suppose. George Donkin. Well, why not? It was him who told me. Something unlawful in the yard, he told me.
So you, at dead of night, with these, set the creature free?
I've told you. So that the attention of the media might be focused on the...
Yes, you on your own did this.
George was in the slammer at the time, banged up. So for once, just for once, George Donkin is innocent, okay?
Was it George who told you?
What? Told me?
About the bear, the poor bloody bear. Something you ought to tell me, is there? You, yeah? Who told the girl?
Sergeant.
You better hope nobody gets hurt.
Does Mum know?
Shouldn't reckon so. Yet.
Good day, then.
What?
Go away. There are things I have to do.
You mean I'm not
Under arrest? No, why should you be? A summons is good enough for you. You'll be summoned.
What the hell use is that?
Summoned in due course to the court of summary jurisdiction. Two housewives and a retired grocer. Not at all the Old Bailey, but maybe you should have pulled some caper with a touch more panache, yes? Like hijacking some huge great Boeing and flying to Cuba or the Isle of Man or somewhere, if what you want is your name in the papers.
What I want is you lock me up.
Well, I am sorry to disappoint you, but I am not here to aid and abet your pathetic little ego. And now I have other business to attend to, so good day.
You're going to tell the sergeant, or shall I?
For myself, lad, it'd come hard to have to tell a woman what a woman can do to a man just by being a woman, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean?
I think so.
Tell her then if you must. It'll serve you right.
Hey, come on, let's go. Get the ball. Come on.
Nothing over there?
No, it appears not. Should we try over there?
Right.
Come on. Come on. Let's do the ball. Yeah. Oh.
Reported sent in, ma'am. Just come in.
Right then, Joseph. We're on our way. Is he onto it?
Seems to be, Mom, yes.
You're not shoot deer here unless you must.
Yes, Mom.
You should have made her lock you up. I mean, where's the allegorical significance? Where's the mileage for Marxist-Leninism in you not getting banged up in a slammer for setting free a poor dumb animal? Where's the police brutality?
But you do see, don't you? The letting it free was just a cry to be heard.
Twanging on your guitar, lady. Let me out of my cage, and to hell with whom I might hurt. Lady, we've all got our cages. My cage is I owe money all over, and I'm not so good now at what I do, and won't ever be any more. What cage is yours?
So what now?
For you, darling, not a damn thing now. For me,
Where are you going?
I've got a story to file, maybe, if somebody gets hurt trying to shove Winnie the Pooh back into his cage. Keep in touch.
Are you all right? Come on, stand up.
Dead? I'm sorry.
Ma'am?
Not now, Roland.
If you please, ma'am, I think I should explain something.
What? Something to be said that you should know.
All right. Come into the office.